Back on the Chad HD Show, Texas State Senator Charles Perry in studio with me. Coming up next, Governor Greg Abbott will be here, Representative John Furlow's office here at the state capitol. And Senator Perry, of course, a lot of bills, a lot of legislation that's moving forward. One of the pieces that made a lot of news last week, sanctuary cities.
Yeah, SB 185, Sanctuary City Bill, and at its core, it's a rule of law bill. You know, society loses a lot of faith in its law and those that administrate them when they're applied unequally or not across the board to everyone equally. So, very simply, it's a rule of law bill. It gives the authority on a local level to ask the immigration status if in a process of a stop or currently in a commission of a crime. We had numerous witnesses that came in that had had loved ones killed by individuals that had come over illegally and perpetrated the crime not once but several times, and then they actually did kill someone. So this is to put that law in place out there and say that laws matter. Laws do matter. You know,
Right.
I think that it's just the irony of the arguments is we know what the law is, but we don't want to apply it.
Right.
And that's to me, that's a little bit a slippery slope that you go down that you can't get back when you start picking and choosing what laws you enforce and who you enforce them on. It creates a very unstable platform, if you will, in which we function in on a civil society.
Let's talk education. I know that's something that you're going to be taking a big look
Yeah,
at.
SB 13, I was privileged to get to carry that bill. It's a big bill for education. It's unanimously supported across all lines, all sectors, all districts, every school. It just opens up dual credit access for our high school kids. Right now we had a pretty tight cap on those, giving kids the opportunity to get their first 2 years of college out of the way at the cheapest dollar possible. I call it the 14 and 12 program. You might actually get your 14 years out of 12, and in our rural districts where they didn't have access to a place to do that, this kind of frees up the cap so they have a little more flexibility within the dual credit process. It defined what a dual credit teacher looks like a little bit tighter. It gave the community colleges some clear guidelines on what to do. It opened up some money for HB 5 to where a community college and a public school system could partner in tandem with private partnerships. And I use the example if a Jiffy Lube has an empty bay and they would like for kids to come learn mechanicking. This legislation will allow them to sign partnership agreements with districts and people and actually begin to kind of create and cultivate an employment workforce going forward. So it's what public education is supposed to be, and let's get our kids ready to go to work.
Visiting with State Senator Charles Perry here on the program. What is the you're in a unique position. You know, left the House. You're in the Senate now. There's been a lot of talk about the dynamic. How is the Senate going to play with the House, and how are these two bodies going to work together? How's that going as of right now? I know it's still early.
It is early, and I hope that we play well together. You know, I can't control what they do so far, and I've had some conversations over there at the House with the Speaker, and you know, I find it fairly amicable and cordial. There will be differences of opinions on how we get to somewhere for sure, but that's what makes the process better. But all I can control is what I do in the Senate. We're going to work hard to get the Senate bill out.
As far as tax cuts go, and you know, that's going to be a big part of what the Senate wants to do. The House, that's kind of up in the air right now. What do you want to see as far as tax cuts go?
I would love to see the franchise tax bill brought to a termination of some sort over the next number of years. We need to make that a definite commitment. Franchise tax is unequal, unfair, narrowly based, and it's counter to job production. So if I had to pick out of all tax relief, it would be the franchise tax. Homeowners obviously would like to have some relief, but the dollars are so big and spread so thin. The impact of a $200 a year decrease on property owners, it's money, but it's not significant enough money, and that money's going to be big dollars at the state level. So we need to be wise in how we go about it. I like the homestead exemption and the indexing up there. It kind of moves with the values. But on all tax relief, I would say franchise tax is the #1 tax, just because of what it is, how it's administered, how it's been picked and chosen, and winners and losers met, and the compliance cost alone needs to go away.
All right, Texas State Senator Charles Perry, as always, appreciate your time today.
Appreciate you.